Hello, everyone, and welcome to the holiday wellbeing series. And we are now moving into how to stay calm and grounded during the holidays. The whole focus has been about that. So it might start to seem like we are repeating some of the same things, but actually, repetition is one of the key tools to help us not only hear and take on board information, but really truly integrate it so it becomes a part of our normal everyday behaviors. So, this is 10 tips to stay calm and grounded during the holidays or at any other point in the year, especially when several factors all merge together. You might move, um, you might have older parents that you're trying to support, work has changed, or there's consultations or restructures. You can have several diverging timelines that can all come together. So, then it's even more imperative that you use these tools so you not only stay grounded and calm, but you're able to manage whatever the situations are that are coming along. And one thing to remember, and even to capture today, is what have I done so far that I think went well, better than anticipated? And where am I noticing I'm feeling like I'm maintaining this feeling more and more? Because that momentum that we build by applying this idea every day is what helps us sustain these better feeling states longer over a period of time. I know that when I first started doing yoga once a week, I was telling a friend the other day that I was barely able to keep my eyes open and not fall asleep when we were doing meditation, and then the progression for me was not falling asleep. And then progression for me was getting good at the mantras, getting more flexible, getting stronger. And then after the car accident, using yoga to help me heal. So we will notice that something is improving, we're feeling stronger, better. So do ask yourself where you're at with that at the moment. So 10 top tips to stay calm. So let's pull this all together with the top grounding tips. Drink water before coffee. So I tend to not touch coffee if I'm doing mostly the 18, what was it, 18-6 fast. Um, so I tend to not have any coffee or anything until at least 12 o'clock at midday. It just works for me like that, and I can feel my brain switching on. So drink water, plenty of water before the coffee, especially we're in the winter season now, the heating's on more, we can feel thirsty more of the time. I'm certainly noticing that. Start your day slower. Sounds obscure when you've got lots of things on, but taking a pause, doing these activities in the morning of grounding, pausing, layering these tools will help you start the day in a more present way. Focus. You might notice that you notice more because when you run around, we just zoom in from that mindset towards the thing that we want to do next. Take short outdoor breaks. So if you're working from home, it's imperative that you get out 5 or 10 minutes, go for a walk. Depending on where you live, whether it's a coffee shop, a park, or something, just get out, get the fresh air. I was asking myself the other day, I thought, there's something that's changed. And then I realized that during the months where it was really warm, up until probably beginning of September, actually, because it changed quickly, I was out a lot in the garden. I've got a garden chair. The birds were chirping, jumping about from tree to tree, listening to the sound of the rustling in the trees. And I would just go into this really nice liminal space with a coffee. It was very meditative, but it wasn't quite meditation. And so because I'm indoors a lot more now, I was noticing that was missing. So I had to think about how I change that and how I approach that in the space that I'm in now. So think about that, how you start your day more slowly and what helps you do that. So often organization and preparation certainly makes a difference. And then take short outdoor breaks. Keep your phone away at meal times, or even just don't switch it on until, you know, as late as you can in the morning, actually. Once your kids are at school or you've opened the laptop, you want to stay focused on the activity that you're doing. It's very easy to lose focus. And I think there was some research to say that it then takes so many seconds to get re-engaged with the information, reread it. So if we keep opening up different emails and doing multiple tasks, we're wasting a lot of time by moving around those different systems because we have to then re-engage with the priority of what we're working on. Say no to one thing, practice deep breathing, eat mindfully. So sometimes that's just very simple, like whether it's a sandwich, chocolate bar, a donut, um, your breakfast, the yogurt, whatever it is you're eating, slow down your eating and notice if you can notice the taste and the texture. Anyone that's done mindfulness courses is like this exercise where you put chocolate in your mouth and you don't eat it, you just allow it to gently melt and notice the sensations and the taste and the smell. And it really slows everything down. People are quite surprised at how the chocolate really tastes when they're noticing that they're eating chocolate or mindfully going into that process. And then move your body gently, as talked about in other videos. Do some stretching, some yoga. There's quite a few stretches I do as part of Kundalini Yoga. I'll put some link to a website where I think he teaches it really well. I was teaching online, but I'm sort of limited in a way in terms of light and moving around the room to teach the yoga. And I like seeing what people's doing. It sort of limited me in that way. But um, choose, when you're not doing an actual activity, choose 3 stretches, different stretches even, that you can do every morning to get your body prepared so the blood flows, you're moving. And if you're sat down all day, you need to definitely do a walk, you need to do the stretching, and you need to get out of the house 2 or 3 times a week to do something more on top of that. But of course, we're talking about the holidays, the time gets crunched, we can lose some of our routines because we're traveling around, and I had to be really mindful of that when I was doing my trips in the camper van, because I didn't have the space to do a whole full set of yoga. I could on a sunny morning and put the mat outside and do some yoga. And I could certainly sit down and do the warm-up yoga. And I found a way of doing some stretches on the bed in the van that I could do in the morning and at night, because I was doing a lot of walking, incline walking. So that was to spark the muscles or get tight and stiff. So that was really important. Schedule rest. Okay, put some rest in still. Make sure you're getting some rest. Make sure you're getting, if you can, a few hours. I mean, my kids are grown up now, so I do get maybe a whole Saturday morning or Sunday morning where I can just do nothing, chill, have some coffee, watch a movie, whatever it is I want to do. That's a luxury now. It was it was not even accessible when they were younger, unless they were going spending time with their nan. So calm is created by small, deliberate choices. So this is about making the right choices for you and what works for the environment that you're in. Like I said, if you're over here, fairly healthy, functioning family, sometimes it's about slowing it down, having a bit of a framework for the family, a framework for yourself when you get up in the morning, and how you plan other things so you're not constantly running from one thing to the next. But as we move into the dysfunctional families, okay, if you're living with where there's more narcissism and domestic abuse, physical abuse, strain, then even set yourself a goal at going to talk to someone, getting some support. And I know that for some women, you've got to really do that in secret because it's not safe. Um, but you need someone to believe, you need someone that hears you and believes what's going on for you. And even if nothing changes, you've at least taken one step. So please do that. Don't stay in danger. And some families know, some ignore, and some we don't want to share it with. So, um, depending on where you are in your circumstances. So, comment below, what tip will you use today? Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe so that I can, create more of these videos and feel inspired. And if there's anything else you want me to cover, I'm sorry that the video quality is actually not that great, but I go on the assumption, hopefully the sound is good. And most people like me just play the sound and don't sit and watch a video. Um, so I've got all sorts of weird lighting in the house, and everything just shows up differently depending on the time of the day. So, yes, I look forward to hearing from you if you contact me. Otherwise, thank you for listening.